Hello, friends. I'm Rick Beatty. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Royal Oak in Royal Oak, Michigan, and it's an honor and a privilege to join with you for our midweek meditation experience. And I appreciate the feedback I had from last week's meditation, or the midweek, which was more teaching, and I will go as God leads me here. So, I want to start by sharing with you the Daily Word, and I do so with permission of Unity, the publishers of Daily Word. And the theme word for today, Wednesday, March the 24th, is outlook. Outlook. And the affirmation is, my outlook determines my experience. It is a blessing to know that whenever I feel discouraged or circumstances are not as I prefer, I have the power to shift my perception and change my outlook. More than mere positive thinking, my outlook is how I engage the world and my life at every level of my being. I am inspired by the miracle of Jesus feeding the 5,000. All there was to eat among the multitude were 5 loaves and 2 fish. As he was given the food, Jesus looked up to heaven, blessing what he had, giving thanks for it. The crowd had more than enough among them. As I lift my eyes up, shifting my gaze away from apparent lack, I know that I always have enough. I set the intention to keep this outlook and to live from this awareness, starting now. And the scripture verse is one of my very favorites for many years. It's from Psalm 121, verses 1 and 2. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So I want to talk just about a couple of concepts here. One, the whole idea of outlook being more than just positive thinking, or PMA, positive mental attitude. Some stuff's hard and tough to get through. Some things during this pandemic time have been tough to get through. And if you know me at all, you know that I don't encourage our leapfrogging over our feelings to what I call pink ponies and purple merry-go-rounds. We need to process through things. We're human beings. And one of the many ways that I process things is in meditation. I often take a question into meditation, or I sit with something, sit with a concept. I sit with the openness. I invite Spirit to guide me. It says, as I lift my eyes up, shifting my gaze away from apparent lack. One of the things that I have noticed in the, 16, 17 years that I have been a full-time minister, is that people will often talk with me about they want to shift their experience of circumstances, but they want to remain focused on the circumstances. And there are times when it's hard not to do so. But to the extent to which any of us can lift our vision up to a higher place, and the high place is a place in consciousness. The high place in consciousness is that we are all divine. We are God in expression, in form. Or as Kathy Jo often says, godlings. And I love that. It used to annoy the snot out of me, and now I love it. Who knew? And what changed? I guess I did. So you can't have a different experience if you want to stay focused on the current one. And friends, it's your choice. Nobody is forcing you to change, to adopt a new outlook on life. I've discovered in my own life, and in doing this work a long time, that people find a new way. They shift their outlook when they're ready. When the pain of staying where they are is greater than the pain of change. I said the C word, didn't I? Change. Everybody wants change. Nobody wants to change. I don't know who said that, but It's been true my whole life, and it's certainly true of me. I get as stuck as anybody, so we're in this journey together. So, having an outlook of, wow, I have everything I need right now to be happy. That's a foundational piece for me. Everything I need to be happy now, I have now. I heard that affirmation probably, I don't know, 30, 35 years ago, and it stuck. I've heard thousands of affirmations, but only a handful of them have really stuck with me. So let's talk a little moment about meditation. And I began to think that I wanted to meditate, in the late 70s. I had friends who meditated, and at that time I was attending what used to be known as Unity of the Infinite Presence. It was when Jack Boland had come there a few years earlier, and the church was just beginning to grow. And he did a Wednesday lesson on meditation. And I thought, oh, this is good. This is something I can do. And it was like to go home and to sit straight in a chair or against the wall and maybe put some quiet music on, and I'm playing some now. It's called the six degrees of meditation. Kim Lange has recorded this just for our use. She's our creative director. Most of you know Kim. Very talented lady. Anyway, the idea was to go home and, with music or not, to spend some time in the silence or in the stillness, as we often speak of it in Unity, and to not think. Just don't think. Well, I thought, this sounds easy enough. So I went home, put some music on, lit a candle. I encourage you to do those things. Sometimes I do them. They're going back there now. And not think. To not think is not possible. Our brains, our minds are wired to think. It's what they do. So I struggled for several days with this whole thing. And it didn't seem to be working for me at all. The more I tried not to think, the more I thought. I would think about not thinking. And so I kind of pushed it aside, and I was a much younger man back then. I wasn't nearly as patient as I am now, but I pushed it aside, and I had been exposed to chanting. And so I began to chant. And I did that for many years. I chanted. Where a lot of people meditate, I chanted. And then I was talking to somebody, and I don't know, it came up, did I meditate? I said, not really, I chant, which kind of does the same thing in terms of opening me up to the divine presence, to a greater awareness. And this person asked me why I didn't meditate, and I explained why, because I can't not think. And they looked at me and said, it's not possible to not think. You can't not think. I said, I've noticed that, right? I've got it. I can't not think. And that's not the thing at all. The thing is to give your mind something to think about, to focus on. Meditation is not the lack of thinking, it's focused thinking. So I hope that you understand that there is no right or wrong way to meditate. You can sit, you can lie down, you can walk, you can meditate with your eyes wide open, with them shut, with them gently, you can soft view, like gently shut your eyes. That's entirely up to you. I meditate many different ways. Walking meditation is powerful for me. Yesterday afternoon I was walking out by the river where I live in Rochester, and it was a glorious afternoon and I enjoyed it. And sometimes I meditate with my eyes wide open. I meditate in lines, because to meditate for me is to just get in touch with the core of me, And the core of me is the divine presence. It is the Christ, which is not a thing. It's an energy. It's love. Simply put, it's love. So here's a couple of concepts that can be useful. You can use a word to keep you focused, a word or a couple of words. And in our literature about meditation and the Unity movement, it's suggested that if you're going to use a word or a phrase, you not have it longer than maybe 7 words or so. I sometimes use a longer phrase, but shorter is better. Something that the mind can focus on, that you can say to yourself over and over and over again, and which gives the mind something to work on, so then that you can experience the stillness. Now you can meditate without music. I sometimes do that. Certainly when I'm walking, I don't play any music. I listen to the birds and the rhythm of life all around me. So, and if you're a transcendental meditation person, you've already been given a mantra. That's a word or a short phrase to focus on. But for the rest, it can be any of a number of words. You can use Jesus, many do, or Christ. You can use an affirmation. I am love. I am loving. There are lots and lots of ways. Let yourself come out of the box. And meditation really has become mainstream in our culture the last, 15, 20 years. Lots of people meditate who have no idea of any kind of religious or spiritual value to it. They do it because it improves their performance. It helps them remain centered, remain focused during the course of the day. You can call on love. I am love. If that helps get beyond any certain idea of God. In Unity, we allow you to define that for yourself. In fact, you must define it for yourself. And that was a little scary when I first found this way of living, this philosophy for life. 45 years ago now or so, maybe a little bit more. So we're going to play some music. I'm going to invite us all to relax, because we don't do a lot of that right now, in my opinion. So always thinking about what's next, what's coming next. You're coming next in your life, in your world, right now, right here and now. And we begin this time by noticing our bodies. I'm seated in a chair at my desk. My hands are gently laying on my desk. I'm aware of my feet on the floor. Sometimes I love to meditate outside and take my shoes off. It's not quite warm enough for that yet here in Michigan, but soon. It will be soon. So I'm sitting here and I notice my feet. I wiggle my toes and I allow myself the freedom to flex my ankles and all the small bones in my feet and praise them. Think about your feet. They carry us around all day long. And I used to weigh significantly more than I do right now. So I'm grateful to my feet for taking all of that activity through the years. And now notice your shins and your calves, the muscles there. Stretch them if you can, elongate them. Kick your foot out and push your heel out for a few minutes or a few seconds, and then just let the body become limber. Let your body have a sense of the movement and the wonder in movement. And now continue your scan. Notice your knees and your thighs and buttocks, the big muscles of the legs. They're the ones that move the levers. Our legs are big levers, and those muscles move them. Remember, muscles are in opposition to each other, so muscles on one side of the body shorten and on the other side lengthen, and they do that in the most amazing order. Divinely ordered. Everything working together for good. Continue to scan up your body, the torso area, front and back. Notice your solar plexus and your heart. Notice too your back muscles. Invite them to relax. The muscles of our core, the abdominal area and the small of the back, keep us contained. And strengthening those muscles is important to our overall health. But right in this moment, we're going to work on relaxing them, loving them, appreciating them. Moving now up, continue up the chest area, up to the pectoral muscles, and then the tops of your shoulders. Allow your attention to move down your arms. The upper arm, notice the muscles there. Flex them if you'd like. Notice the elbows. Bend them. Lower arms, your hands. Just allow your body to relax. If you invite it to do it, it will do it. If you willingly release whatever went on before this moment so that the mind doesn't have to fuss with something, and then invite it to relax. We always begin with an awareness of our oneness with God, right? We know that right where we are, God is in us, as us. For we are expressions of that life that we call God. It has many names. And now allow your awareness to shift to the middle of your back and between your shoulder blades. Flex your shoulders. Amazing levers. Continue up the back of your neck, up to the crown chakra. Now imagine that you can open it wide, like a shade or a window. Like a window. Been warm enough a couple of times since spring arrived last Saturday to open the windows at home. Open the window of your heart and your mind. Open the window to bless and to receive, to send energy and to receive it. And now if you get settled in for a moment, let's just notice our breathing. And there's nothing any of us need do to cause ourselves to breathe. In fact, it's almost impossible to withhold the breath, except for very short periods of time. Even those people who work at it and can hold their breath for several minutes ultimately breathe, because it's the body's automatic process. The cells need oxygen, so the heart is ready to pump oxygen, carried by cells throughout the body to get it out to where it's needed, and the exchange of out with the carbon dioxide and in with oxygen happens in our lungs. So think of the system that is your body. It's amazing. It's amazing. And now I invite you to just pay attention to the rhythm of your breathing. Let's take a deep breath together. Sigh it out. One more deep breath in. Sigh it out. One final deep breath inward. Sigh it out. And now let your breath take on its normal, preferred rhythm. It's different for everybody. And allow yourself to follow the very next breath inward. And as we turn within, we are turning away from the outer world for a few minutes. We're willing to let it be doing whatever it is it's doing. And you may hear a noise, either on my end or your end. Let that noise just be a reminder to turn within, to turn away from everything going on around you and to turn inward. As we shift our focus from the outer to the inner, we shift our attention. And we know that right where we are, all is well. All is well. So allow yourself to enjoy this time in sweet communion as we listen to some music and experience being one with the one. Excuse me. Again, any noise that startles you or distracts you, let it just simply be a reminder to turn within. Or if your mind wanders off somewhere, just bring it back gently to your breath. Pick up your keyword or phrase if you're using one, and follow your breath inward. And now I'm going to invite us all to summon an image while we remain in this meditative state. Summon an image into our minds that represents spring. The new life that, at least around here in Michigan, seems to flow effortlessly and always right on time. And I want you to consider that that life, that springtime movement, is also alive in us, because we're a part of this. We don't just live on this planet, we're a part of this ecosystem. Like everything else, we are wired to respond to the change in light, the increasing warmer temperatures. Have you noticed it in yourself? Perhaps a bit more spring in your step. And what I want us all to do is respect each other's distancing and masking, and each of us has to find our way through this time. But that's true of every challenge we ever have in life. Only you can find your way. I'll be your cheerleader. You can get in touch with me through Rick, R-I-C, at unityofroyaloak.org. And now call to mind any condition or circumstance that you're aware of, any dear friend that is looking for healing, guidance, help, wholeness, anyone who might be having a tough time financially. Let's wrap them in light and in love, trusting that Spirit is speaking to them in a way that they can understand. We don't have to solve their problem. We just hold the space open for the solution to emerge. It will, right on time, every time. And now let's hold our beloved planet, all of it, all of the planet. Wrap it in love and in light and in energy that sees this pandemic coming to an end, as we all do our part here in the United States and in North America, but all over the globe. What if we shared what we have with those who don't have? We could forge a new way of being together. That's one of the things that I've learned from this time. I invite you to hold the energy of what have you learned during this pandemic that you want to hang on to. Get really clear about it, because there have been many gifts. Some days are tough, period. Some days are amazing, period. Both are true. We're starting to dream and think about and make plans to return to some phased-in approach to services. Keep your eye on us. You'll be hearing more from me and others about that in the coming weeks. But right now, enjoy the springtime. And visit our website at unityofroyaloak.org. There you'll find a complete schedule of what we have going on currently. All of it virtual for the time being, but soon we're going to have a dance party in our backyard or in our parking lot on it's May the 8th. It's the Saturday before Mother's Day. I think it's May the 8th. And there'll be more announcements coming. Anyway, on our website, information, the calendar, COVID information, links to some resources. There's a button there for those who are being guided right now, and I know some are, to make a financial contribution to this community, because you're already contributing by contributing your energy to this time together midweek. If you'd like to make a financial contribution, we gratefully accept. Just because the building has been closed, it still has bills, as we all know. And know that when you give and what you receive, you complete the law of circulation. And we don't give and receive always in the same field, the scripture tells us. But as we give of ourselves, of our substance, trusting, knowing that God is our source. It's not anything else. God is the source of all we have. Flows from that place. That we are all richly blessed and abundant. We appreciate you. And we know that together we know that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. That's the truth. Wherever you are, right now, God is. Take good care, and I hope to see you back here next week. And I hope to see you in person very soon. Namaste.